Hello! If you're like me, you've been shooting for a while and you've heard about black powder, would have liked to get into it, but maybe felt a little scared of it, maybe felt it was a little too difficult to do. So I have a little experience, maybe a day's worth, and I wanted to get a video first to show my new black powder gun and to show you what I did. Maybe for a beginner, this is a good move. I'll know maybe as I gain more experience if it's the right thing to do or not. But what I got first of all is a Pietta made in Italy, 1858 replica. They call them that. This one is black powder. It's beautiful, beautiful crafted. I've had no issues with it. It just works fantastic, but I think there's some things that are a little hard to maybe for the beginner to figure out without someone telling them what to do. Luckily, I've had some people in the local gun store give me some advice. They also gave me some really terrible advice, like what powder to use. You want to use black powder or this Pyrex. What I have here is Pyrex pellets. Do not be using some 4895 IMR and some other things that people told me to use in gun stores. You know, there's a lot of misknowledge. A lot of people just don't know what they're talking about. But my advice is to pick some of this up for the beginner. They do have some, you know, in more granular form that probably more experienced people would want to use for accuracy or whatever. But I'm using this. It seemed the easiest thing to do. That's what I'm going to do. With that, I picked up some Hornady 454 44 caliber, because this is a 44 caliber one. They do come in, you know, a different calibers too. So make sure that you're lining it up. If you want to copy what I'm doing, you want the 44 caliber. You want some .454 round balls for muzzle loading. Pyrex we talked, and man, some messy stuff. This is called bore butter. You use this so you don't get any chain reaction fires. When the sparks and the smoke are flying, you don't want it lighting up the next chamber, right? You're going to get hurt. This covers it up for sparks. There's a couple different ways to do this. You can use this bore butter. I found that it is pretty messy, but you know, it's what I've been told to try and what I did some research on. So the bore butter is what I used. It's what's loaded in the gun. And you're also going to need some Remington number 10 percussion caps is what they're called. And these are very, very small. If you did some reloading like I have before, it's not too out of the ordinary of what you know, cartridge rounds look like for the caps, but these are slightly different. And you want to handle them with care. Obviously keep them dry and everything else. That probably goes with everything else. But what I've done is I've loaded it up. That's a messy thing, and I'm going to show you later on you know, how to load it up. If you don't like clean things and you're organized like I am, this is going to be a little crazy, because this makes a lot of mess, especially on your brand new toy. But I think it's fun, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you one thing. You want to have, it's a 6 chamber. You only want to have 5 filled. For the reason is it's resting on a chamber that is unfilled. It has no cap on it, no percussion cap, so that it's safe, right? And what I have in here is loaded chambers with the bore butter, and we'll go over how to do that. But I have the percussion caps loaded, and when I cock it back, it's a single action. It will fire, okay? I've got a target out there about 17 feet. This seems to be in good range. You can see that I've taken some shots before, and you know, I've obviously pretty experienced with pistols, but not with black powder. This is actually my first day on the range with it, so I'm sure there'll be things that I learned, but it's kind of a little adventure, and I wanted to record this and maybe give some advice because it wasn't really that great of stuff out there. So that's what I found so far. Just loving this. It's a, you know, something I put on the mantle. I don't even put it in the safe. It is beautiful, well designed, well engineered. Pietta. They have some beautiful ones. The black powder, the black steel, I guess is the most sought after one, although they're not very hard to get, obviously. But you can put conversion barrels in there to use 45 long Colt on this 44. It's about $200. You can do that. I was thinking about it, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun just to have black powder. So without any ado, I'm going to show you how I'm going to fire it. First thing I'm going to do is cock it back. You have to cock it back. It's in a safe direction. I'm going to cock it back, and you can look down in the chamber. You see the percussion cap? That's ready to go. You got a kind of a hair trigger on the gun. So you want to watch what you're doing when you have the percussion caps. It's ready to fire. No safeties, anything like that. Keeping your finger off the trigger, keeping it pointed in a safe direction, obviously. Not hitting the roof on your local range. That'll keep your buddies at the range very happy. Pointing, you can see the sights. It's just a simple sight on the top. I'm going to go for the top one, headshot. You see, lots of satisfying smoke, but not too much recoil. Really fun. You have to cock it after each shot. Again, I'm going to aim for the top. That's my second shot. Third. They're all hitting in the plate. Fourth. Keeping count is probably a good idea with this type of device. 5. And you can see that 6, there's nothing in there. Run it through, make sure all the percussion caps are out. Make sure you got a safe weapon. Just a finely crafted, historical type device. I'll tell you, it's satisfying. It's fun. It's satisfying. This is well made. Made in Italy, like I said. Brass, steel, heavy. I don't know the exact weight on it, but it's real. I mean, this is what the West was fought with, and the Civil War. Whoever was lucky enough to have one of these, I'm glad to have it. And for $200 roughly, you can have one too. The prices on these, I did try this little percussion cap tool. This thing is junk. Don't know how to use it. It won't work. It pops off, so I wouldn't waste money on that. That's about $8. You see these are about $13 for the ball, 100 of them. About $20 for these for 100 for the Pyrex pellet. Really great luck with these. I don't know how many people use these. I don't know how widespread that is, but I'll tell you, I enjoyed it using them. They're simple for me, being someone who doesn't know about this hobby yet of black powder. And these number 10 percussion caps. I've shot this probably 30 times. Not a problem with anything. Maybe knowing a couple things that's important is pushing down these little clips. That kind of threw me at first, because you want to push it all the way in. As you see that gets pushed all the way in. When you push that putting the Pyrex, then putting the ball, pushing it all the way down. And I'll show you some more footage of that too as we go on. Making sure you're in a half cock so that the chamber will move. That's a half cock. The chamber will move around so you can get to it. A full cock is what fires. Pushing into a full cock, then pushing the trigger and letting go on it is the technique that I've been using. Again, pull the trigger, it releases, and then putting it on a safe, empty chamber. But obviously there's a lot of cleanup work to do. These are not clean, but I've had a lot of fun. Maybe I'll record more of these if you like them. Anyways, at the range, and we'll be shooting next. In the range, whether it's loaded or not. That ring off. See, that's getting caught in here. That. There's like a whole bunch of trouble if you let that get stuck in things. Okay. We got them all filled. Now we're gonna create us a mess. The boar butter. Lock that in place. Boar butter. Boar butter. Messy. Someone needs to come up with a better container for the boar butter. I hear that some people just use Crisco. So anything you can, I guess, to stop the chain reactions from happening. That's going to be awfully messy going back in my range bag, though. Okay. Good to keep some towels around. Okay. Now comes the scary part, right? We're going to make these live. And to make them live, I don't know any other way. I guess you could take the cylinder off, but keep it downrange at all times. Once you're doing things that could be dangerous, keeping it jacked up against my chest maybe. I did see things where people have little stands where it points up in the air. I think that's the last place I want this pointing. It is rather light shooting though, so I'm not too concerned about real bad recoil, but again, keep a good grasp on it. And I think that would be, that's the, right there. Get a little bit of junk out of there. I must have missed me one of those. Little cap. Okay, so that's the empty one. Okay, and let's go over to it. Ratchet back over to it. And I'm not getting how they do this, but okay, here we go. Live primer. Let's take an aim at that bottom one. Lots of nice smoke, very little recoil. Very nice smoke. Satisfying, to tell you the truth. How many was that? 4? Nope, that was 5. Okay. Dirty, dirty, dirty. We got a ball in there still. Obviously you can see everything came out. And thank you. That's what I wanted to show you today.